Lachette with Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back here with the July favorites video. Um, as I usually say during the summer months, please excuse the sound of the fan in the background. And it could be louder, it could have the AC on, but let me just dive in here. So, unlike June, I did a better job of keeping track of my favorites as the months uh, passed, as the 31 days of July passed. It's been really, really hot, which doesn't bother me per se, but it's more the humidity, and it's the humidity has been so high that I've been sweating a lot, and that is what I don't particularly enjoy, constantly having to mop myself up. So, yeah, thanks to One Book July, I've started getting more focused back into my daily planning. What I do enjoy about planning is the fact that it's like the Pensy from Harry Potter, and I can take those thoughts in my head, put them on paper, and not have to constantly, mentally remind myself of the things I want to do or the things I want to see, people I need to talk about, that kind of thing. So that has been good. And in conjunction with that, if you've seen any of my Plan With Me videos, I do enjoy being creative with my planning and in the use of my planner. And it's another outlet. Writing things down is kind of meditative, and like I said, it gets things out of my mind and onto the paper in front of me. But also, I like using color. It just makes me happy. I don't know how else to express that. Every month I have a different color scheme. And adding the creative aspects to it lets me, like I said, be creative on a regular basis, and to use that as another outlet is another meditative task, or tasks, multiple, depending on how you look at it. So, one of the ways I've been creative is by using washi tapes. So washi tape, and none of these are actual washi tape. They are, excuse me, I just need to reach over. If I didn't put them on the table in front of me, they'd be rolling around the floor. But washi tape is a Japanese made product, and it's usually the legit stuff is made out of washi paper. And it's these rolls of decorative paper that are sticky on the other side, and you can paste them into or onto whatever you like. Most people use them on paper products. It's very popular to use them in planners and such. And I don't have a lot, at least to me. My barometer for a lot is compared to some of the other planners out there I've seen who have hundreds. And it's very easy to get into collecting washi tape because it's small, they're relatively cheap, but then when you start to realize you don't actually use it that much at once, you realize this little roll will last you a long time unless you have some big project. So these are the washis I've been using in the month of July, and the color scheme I had going was blue, green, and purple, and I'll talk more about colors. But that. This one. So as you can see, some of these have like foil on them and text, and others have pictures. And yeah, so I just had like this water scheme going in my planner. And let me just show you guys real quick without dropping anything. Oops, no, that didn't work out. But let me just shake them. How I've used some of my washi tape. I just use them as kind of this way to underline my headers, separate the days, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, pretty simple. Nothing, oh my gosh. Let me see. What's there? This is a week that did not get filled in, really, unfortunately. But, so yeah. Washi tape is a really easy way to be creative, and like I said, before you realize, you see all these little rolls, and depending on how fancy they are and what's on them, and if there's a sale or a coupon, they're relatively to middling, relatively cheap to like middling pricing. For a large roll, it's usually no more than $20, and you can get like 10 rolls of washi tape in there. Usually there's a sale, and that's like the more expensive, fancier washi tapes, but like you wind up collecting because you want different colors and for different times of year and that kind of thing, and then you turn around and you're like, I'm not actually using that much. So my example I showed you in the books, none of them are more than 3 or 4 inches, and these rolls, I can use them forever. So I was like, I need to start using these, and it's quicker and easier to decorate with those. So that's the washi tape. The other thing I've been doing with my planning is hand lettering. Hand lettering I got into a couple of years ago, and it's interesting. It's kind of like a modern calligraphy type of thing. And I'm missing one of my markers. So, or I should say brush lettering particularly. So I like doing it. I mostly have the hang of it. And here's some of my practice sheets. Again, I was using mostly my watery color scheme with the shades of blue, green, and purple there. Here's some more practicing. So that's some script practice. That's uppercase, and here's some lowercase. And these are all done. And then I have this quote here where I kind of decorated the brush lettering with that white gel pen, Jelly Roll gel pen. And then at the bottom is just non-script writing. And for that I used my Tombow Dupe brush pens. And again, I kind of do this at the end of the day as part of my evening routine, as a way to chill out, relax. It's creative, it's meditative, it's colorful, and it's not invigorating. So it's good to concentrate on towards the end of the day when I need to just like prepare my body for sleep. And I think it showed up a little bit, well, not really, not too much in my planner. But the other thing I use, and excuse me for bending down, I just had so many actual physical things to show you guys, I have to. My gelatos. Now the gelatos are a little bit different. You've seen me use them before. I can use them as watercolor. So with those, I use a water brush. Now I don't know if you can see in here the water going back and forth. Maybe that's a little bit. So yeah, this has a brush tip, and I use the gelatos like watercolor. I mix a little water with the color, and then kind of paint my titles of my words with with the color on the brush. So it's still brush lettering, but not with a brush pen. That's the difference. No big deal though. Again, it's another style and a way to find a calming activity to do at the end of the day. That's kind of been my theme for July. Wanting to be calm and calmed down. Cool, calm, collected, relaxed. That somehow became the theme for July. So moving on. Next, I've been drinking tea. Lots of tea. I drink tea. I do drink tea a lot. But I usually take a break during the summer months because, one, I don't like iced tea. Like, when you brew tea and then chill it. No. That's, no. And so I prefer hot tea and usually herbal teas. But I've been drinking a lot of green teas and mints. So one is this I got from TJ Maxx. This is Touch Organic Strawberry Matcha Tea. And I still have plenty left. So I love strawberries. This is an organic, certified organic green tea. This is with some strawberry flavoring. So honestly, I don't know what the strawberry flavoring is. And you do taste it in here. It's not like artificial strawberry, or at least not artificial strawberry I'm used to, like with candy and stuff. But it's something. Anyway, it tastes good to me, even cooled down. Like, I'll brew my tea and let it sit for a while, or if it's really bad, I'll add a couple of ice cubes. And then I've got these two packets from David's Tea, which I do like. It's a Canadian company, but they do have US shops. So Zestfully Green, that would focus, that would be nice. And this is a green tea. With all the benefits of vibrant matcha, zesty ginger, and sweet citrus, this bright and refreshing tea is like a detox in a cup. Talk about clean energy. And this one also is pretty good, cool. Ginger, green tea, apple, licorice root, orange peel, sweet blackberry leaves, matcha green tea, and natural lemon flavor. And what I like about David's Tea is on their little packets here. They have the instructions for how long to cook things, how long to steep, how many spoonfuls to include, and how much caffeine is in it, what size cup you're supposed to use, all that stuff. It's cool. This one, organic Moroccan mint. Now, I'm not as much of a fan as a cold tea, but it's not horrible. This is with calming peppermint, sweet spearmint, and energizing green tea. This fresh, revitalizing blend is a perfect way to unwind after a meal. And that's exactly what's in it. Peppermint, spearmint, and green tea. Again, that's from David's Tea. You can see there at the bottom. And this one is also an organic company. Oh no, the Moroccan mint is organic. The Zestfully Green is not, unfortunately. But yeah, the Moroccan mint I've used after meals at the end of the day to kind of unwind. It's a little bit sweet in that way. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but like peppermint to me is kind of sweet. A lot of spearmint is even sweeter. It's not like sugar or fruit sweet. It's just got a sweet kind of taste. And these are, natural herbs. This is not, like gum flavoring or whatever. But that's just me. If I'm not the only one that enjoys or thinks that the mint herbs are sweet, then please let me know in the comments that I'm not alone and not weird. So continuing on with my like calming and relaxing and beat the heat things, cold showers. Now, I've noticed since I went natural, which is long before I started this channel, I sweat more, in particular from my head down. And I knew about, the temperature differentials that your body goes through after you take a shower or a bath, and I mean, part of that is how I pick and choose what ingredients to include in certain bath soaks that I sell. So I'm not ignorant of this information, but it hasn't been clicking every summer. Usually during a work day, I try to take a shower in the morning to help me wake up, and I've gotten used to, in the fall and the winter and the spring, back to back, doing my workout in the morning, early morning, and then taking a shower to like wash off all the sweat and stuff. In the summertime, it's like a whole new level of heat, and if I don't take not really cold, because I can't, but a cool shower, I will be sweating for hours afterwards. Like my clothes sticking to me. So cold showers have been great, and cold baths. I have gotten also my coven. When we do ritual baths, we've been doing cool ones instead of normal warm ones. So that's been great too. I've been doing ritual baths too. So you're not focused on your physical body and how hot and sweaty you are. You're focused on the ritual and what you're doing, both, when I'm in the group or when I'm by myself. So there's that. Now you might have noticed a trend here, a color theme, if you will, and that's the blues and greens and a little bit of purple, and that's shown up in my planner, in a washi tape, in the teas I've been drinking, in the hand lettering I've been doing, and pretty much everywhere else. So just even in my regular writing stuff, I've been using these Stabilo pens with all these shades of blue, greens, and purples. It's July, it's summertime, and that means water. I am a Scorpio water baby, but I absolutely love being in the water, and for July I have not made it to a body of water to submerge myself in other than a bath. So it is what it is. But even my candles, the ones I've been using, have been blues and greens, And blue, people tend to think of as, I had one more candle, I don't know what's that, so whatever. Blues people tend to think of as calming. Not usually the case with me. Actually, I find red more calming in that comforting type of way. I guess if blues are kind of happy, not as happy as yellow, but more content. And then darker blues are more royal and honorable kind of thing. So that's not how I usually think of blues. There's that kind of like sea green. I'm trying to think of teal. That I do think of as calming, and that's kind of where I've gone with the blues. Greens are usually, people think of them as earthy and grounding to an extent, healing, and I definitely feel the healing energy of certain greens and the growth energy of darker greens. So those are the colors I've been using all month. You know, when I sat down to go over my list and I just realized everything here is blue or green, I just went with it. I could not talk about it. And like I said in the beginning, those are also colors of the sea. They make me think of water, which is a kind of scary place. The world is mostly covered in water, and most of the animals and plants and ecologies that we have little to no information on are in the depths of our oceans. And metaphysically, water kind of represents your emotions, which we don't always know about, the unknown, in general, the unconscious, more specifically. So it's only right that water is also kind of a focus for me this month, because I want to cool down. I like going to the beach because to me the beach is like that. It's a crossroads. It's a place where all the elements meet at once. Water and earth, where the water hits the sand. And then we have the sun, which definitely represents fire at the summertime. And that cool or not so cool air blowing around off the sea or off the ocean. And so as a representative of that in my home and on my altar, I have seashells. And these are, for the most part, ones that I have found or picked up in various places. These are an exception. These were gifts. I don't know where they came from. But you can, if you were here, you would smell the seawater off of some of these. So I've got an entire box, not of seashells, but of sea things. But the seashells I've placed all over the place. If I do another face-to-face video, you'll see them around me. I have a friend who made me a sea inspired dream catcher that I have over my bed. Here's some more shells. And then I actually had what else do I have? I have some seawater from a trip a few years ago, some sand, and some driftwood in here. Oh yeah, so my representatives of the sea in July mixed in with my blue and green. on the altar and elsewhere. So, next. I desperately needed new body soap or body wash. I do have eczema, and I am allergic to a lot of just the easy to get off the shelf products. So I realized I had stopped using things, and my eczema flared back up. So I went out to this is from Burlington, I think so, Burlington. And I got this tea tree and charcoal body wash. This is body wash infused with tea tree oil and charcoal from Harbor Natural Cosmetics. So I got this huge 33, almost 34 ounce jar body wash, and I got some poofs to use it with. And tea tree oil is very cleansing for the skin. It's like antibacterial, and it has a slight, very slight drying effect. And for someone of my complexion and skin type, it's helpful because other than being sweaty, my skin gets oily to protect me from the heat and the sun and whatnot. So it's a good face and body wash for me. The charcoal, I don't know if you remember, a month or two ago I had bought my first, activated charcoal bar soap, and it worked really well. The activated charcoal kind of pulls out the impurities from the skin, in particular in the spots where I have eczema. So that body wash has been so wonderful. And then on top of that, I have this tea tree oil, which I have also used. I have a spray bottle for my hair, which I just realized I don't know where it's at. And in it, I just put water, some tea tree oil, some of my conditioner, and some castor oil, and a little bit of rosemary leaves sometimes. And basically, also called melaleuca, the tea tree oil kind of protects my scalp, which gets sweaty easy, but I can't wash my hair 4 and 5 times a day. So, it's antibacterial. It keeps, things from getting gross up here and smelling gross, and killing anything that might decide to grow when I sweat. So like in between hair washing and co-washing, in between days or hours in the day, I'll just spray and let my hair be moisturized, and keeping that moisture in with the castor oil. So I mean, my hair loves the humidity, but it's not so great with the sweat. So yay, tea tree oil. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about the books I've been reading. So, I explained earlier this year that I was doing this kind of to be read challenge, and I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head right now, but that's not the focus, so it's okay. It'll be in the blog link in the description below. And it's a year-long challenge to kind of read some of the books in your to-be-read pile or your to-be-read list. And one of my goals with my to-be-read pile, which is ever-growing, is to reread the Anita Blake series by the author Laurel K. Hamilton. And I'm rereading it because we have a new book coming out in August called Serpentine, whatever. And it's been a while since I've reread the series. Like, there are a couple of books that I haven't actually read more than the first time when they first came out. So I started that early this year, and I kind of stopped it after March for a while. I don't think I could access some of my books or something like that. But July is when I got some more. And this book is coming out in August. So I've read a whole bunch more since then. But I want to talk about those in the future. I'm, it's just best to talk about the books I've read in each month. So I'm not just only talking about books. So, Obsidian Butterfly. This is number 9 in the series, I think. And this is a book where there's a whole lot of firsts for Anita, and it's, you know, Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, and she's way more than a vampire hunter. But, whatever. There's, like I said, a lot of firsts. Really, the first time that I can remember Anita leaving St. Louis, where most of the books take place, where Anita lives and works for the most part. We get to see Edward, sort of his home turf, and the ridiculous life he's building for himself. We meet a whole slew of new characters in this book. Not necessarily people that will show up in every book after this, but that many that will show, well, several that will show a bunch of times in the future, and then a couple that will have a big impact on Anita's life forever. One is a vampire who thinks she's a goddess, so untouchable that the rest of the vampire world acts like she and her area don't have anything to do with them. And it's just, there was just a lot of wow, this is different. This is very different. This book will forever stick out as kind of, this is not like the others in the series, in a good way. Next is Narcissus in Chains, and in case you wanted a picture to see what Anita looks like, that's her. I mean Anita. Laurel K. Hamilton, the author, that's her. And this is a game changer. This is book number 10 in the series, and this is a game changer. Anyone who's read this book knows it's a game changer. From this book on, she did, I think, lose a lot of readers. I don't care that I wasn't one of them. Tons of new characters, tons of them, but not as many as show up in some later books, but a lot of new characters. This one is more focused on the were-animal world, so werewolves, were-rats, were-hyenas, were-leopards. Yeah, so it's more that part of the world than the vampire world, which is what Obsidian Butterfly was more focused on. And this as a book was kind of wow, I don't know, you either love it or hate it, it seems. But super interesting, very new characters that come on screen and just will stay there forever. This is where they show up for the first time, and then now they'll be there. So yeah, love this one. And then, alright, so Cerulean Sins. This is my favorite cover. The hardcover is the same picture, and I don't know, there's something just really, I just like it. Like I mentioned earlier, blue has been like a thing, and you'll see it in this cover, and then in this cover. So, I don't know, even though neither book is very relaxing. So, this one is like recovery after Narcissist and Change, which was like a huge game changer in the series. Anita trying to kind of like get her life together, but again, it's back on the focus of the vampires and Anita's job as a helper to the police and with supernatural crime. And we get, you know, some international vampires. Now we have to deal with vampire politics at a different scale than ever before, really. New powers, new just awesomeness. And, you know, old friends not liking the new Anita or what they think the new Anita is, and just lots of character development, whether they want it or not. Next, Incubus Dreams. Rereading this, I forgot how much I liked it. Tons of character development, particularly for Jason and Nathaniel, who are secondary characters I really, really, really like. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone who's ever read the series not like the two of them, so there's that, and they get more focus. Lots of exhausting relationship development stuff that needed to happen, but I'm glad it's not me, because it's exhausting enough to read about it. Let's see. New vampires, a deeper look at like the Church of Eternal Life, a vampire church, so that was interesting. Just lots of good talks about, you know, what people, I like character development. I like knowing why people do the things that they do, and I like reading about how they discover those things. They have those epiphanies, and then what they decide to do with that new knowledge. Some people don't, but that's a lot of what this book comprises of. And that, of course, and Anita's still trying to figure out how her life is going to be now that. So, and then a really cool case, vampire serial killer. So, there's that. And last but not least, this nice little novella called Micah. And Micah is Anita's boyfriend, and pretty important though relatively new in her life. And this is a novella. This is like one of the first ones that Laurel K. Hamilton started writing. They give some like short stories about other regular kind of life things, but not quite, because Anita can never have regular life things. So, Micah, I got thrown off because someone came in the room. Anita gets called in an emergency zombie raising, and she decides to go with Micah, so it'll be just the two of them, or he decides to go with her, and she doesn't realize this is the first time it's just the two of them alone, really. Read the series. I'm kind of giving you little bits and pieces here because I can't explain everything. But, so there's some relationship development, but there's also, like, the fact that she has to raise a zombie, and it's kind of suspicious, and then she gets shot, I think. So yeah, um, and you get to know a little bit more about Micah's backstory before he met Anita, where he's from, who his family is, that kind of thing. Not a lot, but a little, and it's a decent story. So those are the five I read towards the end of July. I don't know if I'm really gonna be doing this for August, because just that took like 10 minutes. But yeah, let's look at Twitter real quick. I really should have mentioned him last month, but I didn't. And it's Brother Nature on Twitter. He also has Facebook, and this kid is 19 years old, and he loves, his local wildlife. Canela, the deer, one of the local deer that he takes care of. He feeds them, and he's just always so happy to be around them. He has a little goat. I forget what the goat's name is, and like he's like Cinderella. All of the local wildlife know him, and will come up to his yard and he'll feed them. He sees them on the street and he stops to pet them or to talk to them, and it's not in a way that is dangerous. I don't remember where he lives at, but it's not dangerous to the wildlife, and it's not dangerous to the local people that live there. But what's funny is this is a Hispanic guy who talks, I hate saying this, but like very ghetto. But you could see it in his eyes. He posts these little snippets of his day when he's meeting the deer and any other animals, and he creates these little lifestyle stories for them about their families and what's going on in their day to day. And it's hilarious and it's cute. It's super sweet. He's gotten popular enough that he has a Facebook video series, so you should check that out. And it just brings this kind of like innocent joy to my day whenever I'm scrolling through Twitter for reasons I probably shouldn't be, and I come across one of his posts and I watch this little video, and he's just so happy and joyful, and talking about how he came across Francesca, another deer, and she brought her boyfriend to the car with her, hoping that he had some carrots or something like that. And I don't know. He's literally like Cinderella. They come and it's cute. Like I said, it's sweet and it's just heartwarming. That's what it is. It's really heartwarming, and he's only 19. It's amazing, honestly. So I've known about this guy for years. I don't know if I find it Twitter interesting or not. And then again this year, I came across a post when I was following him, and I really appreciate that he shares such positivity with the world. Not really looking for anything, but he's got it anyway. Next, Lin-Manuel Miranda. If you do not know this man, he was a pivotal point and role in Hamilton, the musical, the Broadway show, which I still haven't seen yet because it's impossible to get tickets to this show. Impossible. But he, again, on Twitter, so positive, like summertime in the hood, guys. He just posts things like, wake up, yeah, and it's not wake up and have a positive attitude and pack away those negative thoughts. I don't know. I am not him or any of the other people I will mention as the months go past, but he's always like very honest about how life works. This is not, that law of attraction stuff. This is not, oh, just be positive and everything will be great. It's just little snippets of things, that he has helped him get through the day and he wants to share with others. And so, he's also, I don't know exactly his ethnicity and nationality, or if I did, I've forgotten. But he is a New Yorker and very supportive, as many New Yorkers are, of the Puerto Rican refugees, and Puerto Rico was still shaky, very, very shaky after the hurricane last year, 2 years ago now, sorry, and the issues we're having with our president, and deportation of people who don't belong in this country for whatever reasons he has decided of the day. Honestly, Lin-Manuel Miranda is not very political in his posts, maybe every once in a while, but it's more about sending aid and giving to support to those in need, and these are people in need. So you can follow him if you choose or not. Lastly, Forbes puts out some really great quotes on Instagram, on Twitter. They might have an Instagram, I've never checked, but also on their website, when you first go to the page, it'll have a quote there, and it's not all like business stuff, or not obvious business stuff, which is always a surprise to me, or it was in the beginning. So, very motivational quotes from real people living today, and both very well-known business people, and people in various industries, and small business owners and industry workers as well. So, as a small business owner myself, and as one of my life goals being a successful small business owner, it's very motivational to see these quotes. I want to bookmarking them, since I learned you can do that on Twitter a lot. So that's it for my July favorites. I hope you enjoyed it. This is another long ass video. Sorry about that. But I'll see you in August for the August favorites, or I'll see you in September for the August favorites. Bye guys.